Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest. We're not disputing that, Cassius, but how does Sonny Liston feel about it? He can't feel but one way, and let's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
Yo, what up? YouTube, talk to me.
Down the Marco.
How everybody feeling today? How's your weekend going? How's your Saturday going? Oh yeah, hold up. My apology for the reverb. I got one of these. Hold up. My apologies. We had a little remix going on there. Let me see. 1 second. I'm gonna get this right. Let me pull this one down real quick. I don't know if it's coming from the ID. All right. How we doing now? Check. I think it was Rumble. Yeah, it was Rumble. I thought I had it muted and it wasn't muted, so we had like this weird echo going on. I just took it off. It's still streaming. I see I seen somebody just pull up. I guess they'll come back. Peace and blessings to everybody. I hope y'all got a chance to hang out with us earlier. If you didn't, go pull up to the morning show with me and Patrick. That was a hell of a live stream, man. We went 2 hours. Shout out to everybody who tapped in with us. Tonight ain't gonna be no different. I seen J-Dub. I don't know where he went. If he pulled back in, I'll bring him back up. But I'm about to bring Prod in. I'm about to bring. I see. There go J Dub. I see. I'm gonna bring everybody up. Y'all do me a favor. Make sure y'all go follow them on all their platforms. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to introduce themselves, and then we're gonna jump into this conversation tonight. Shout out to my writers, my poets, my content creators. You know, I just got to give my flowers to everybody. I'm not selfish. I got to highlight and give love to everybody. Blue Flames, the poet, Jason. There's been a number of different people who have been up here. So, I mean, much love to them. Mad Mystic, all of them. But let's go ahead and bring the panel up for the night so we can get into this show. I don't know. I think something might be going on with J Dub's camera. I don't know. I'm gonna give him a chance to get his setup right. Sid, Prod, I'm bringing y'all up.
What up?
Yo. What?
Down the Mongo.
What's the word?
How you living?
Bless. Highly favored, man. Grateful to be here.
Me too. I think I'm gonna turn my light back on.
Sid, how you feeling? How's your weekend going so far?
I'm good. I'm excited. We're about to go on a trip to Texas tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited. We're gonna see family for Thanksgiving. So I love long road trips because it gives me a good opportunity to write. So I'm very excited to go on a very, very long drive.
We love road trips too. Oh man, I got a good homie in Texas. I got a couple really great collabs with him. His name's The New Truth. He lives in Killeen, down by the border.
Okay.
Actually, he's in Poland right now because he's in the army. But
oh wow, okay,
that's where he's from. His name. Yeah, he's a great guy. I'm sure I'll be touring with him. He's supposed to be done. I think next year he's finished, and so he's going to get out, and we'll be touring.
Oh,
he's a great cat.
That's what's up. Y'all be safe on y'all trips. You know,
absolutely.
You know, people are reckless out here on the road, and I don't want to see nobody getting no accidents or anything like that, man. I know it's the holidays. We trying to enjoy our loved ones, so let's just try to keep it as smooth and as safe as possible.
I assume the roads are good between where you are and where you're going, right? Texas,
yeah,
there ain't no snow or nothing, right?
No, not really, because it's mostly like lower elevation desert plains. Oh my goodness. It's like half the trip is basically just like Arizona, New Mexico. So it's,
okay.
Right. Hello. Hi. So it's usually not too bad. I think mostly it would just be like rainstorms to get towards the Gulf area.
All right. Well, be safe. How long are you going down there for?
We'll be there for about a week. I'll be back next weekend. Come here.
Okay. Hold on.
All right.
J Dub.
What up?
Yo.
Man?
I'm good.
You can't get your camera to work, or you don't want to be on camera?
I don't have the proper space and lighting right now.
Oh, bummer. I feel you.
Yeah.
If you can see the rest of my studio, it looks like crap. I just got all my crap like laying over here. I didn't even set it back up since I went on that promotional tour this summer. I will, but I got a whole fucking mountain of crap behind me. I ain't worried about it.
Salutes, bro. I appreciate you tapping in, man. Greg, what's up? Real quick, let's go around in a rotation, starting with Sid. We'll go to Prod, and we'll go to J Dub, man. Just give a little quick intro. Let the people know who you are. And we'll jump into the conversation.
All right. Hello, my name's Sydney, also called Squid. My social media tags, Science Squid Poetry. I have my bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's degree in environmental education. And I just really love talking all psychology related topics, wellness, well-being, spirituality. I was raised religious, but I love to explore all different types of religions and just kind of how all different things in the world connect. I just find history and humanity very fascinating. So I love to talk, I love to write, and I'll be reading some poetry for you guys today.
Sweet.
Me?
Yep, I think.
My name's Prince Prodigal. I'm from Cheyenne, Wyoming. I make music for God. I'm a soldier. I escaped from hell and I worked my way back to heaven, and now I'm really trying to get back into heaven because I was on Lucifer's side like an idiot, and I thought that, like, you know, because humans are idiots. Yep. And so I really don't like the hairless apes, and but so, you know, Lucifer did what he did and tricked me, but I'm good with God, and he loves me so much that he let me come back, and now I'm dealing with this here and making music until I can go home. That's my deal. God loves y'all. I do not.
I can dig it.
Archer is my spirit animal. But
Archer?
Yeah. Not the person, not the character, the entire show.
Oh, okay. I love Archer.
If I had to pick a character out of the show, but Archer is my pick for sure. I just changed my Spotify bio to that. Okay, I'm done. Sorry, Jess. Do your thing, brother.
All right. My name is Patrick. I go by Just Wisdom. I was an intelligence analyst for 17 years. I've been a minister. I've been involved in politics.
He's dope.
I've done a lot of stuff. And now, like during COVID, I got involved in music. Around there, that's when I met Prince Prodigal. I've known him for a few years now. We've had ups and downs, but we're on this journey of music together.
Okay.
I don't know. And I like talking about all things, I guess, because I've done so much in my life, even outside. Like, I got out of the military 10 years ago, and I've had a whole different life outside of being an intelligence analyst and everything. Like, so I love talking about all things, and my focus is just spreading wisdom, because it's a lot of like ignorance out there. And so I try to do things through music, through stories, and then like art. Like, I like make mid-journey art and everything, and then like combine everything together to put something intelligent out there rather than what we see that's kind of dumbing down people, if that makes sense. But yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be a good one. Shout out. Salute to the military people, man. Anybody who served and just wanted to put their life on the line for the people, man. I got a big respect for anyone who did service in any facet, 1000%. And shout out to you, bro, for tapping in with us earlier and joining the stream with us tonight. I'm absolutely on board with having a variety of different conversations, especially if it pertains to bringing some type of balance or humanity back, which is why we are here tonight. The subject at hand, which is two-part, escaping the matrix and earthly imprisonment.
Oh wow! Well, shit.
Yeah, I like to peel back layers, because I don't like. I'm 40 now, and so I don't look at pain and struggle and strife and spiritual war, and it's just things I just don't look at the same anymore. And because of that, and because of how I've rewired my view of life, I thought that it would be of a benefit to share and explore that a little bit more with the people. So
hell yeah,
let's kick the show off with initial thoughts. We'll go in rotation. Give me y'all initial thoughts on both subjects. How you feel about it? What does it look like to you? And we'll just take it from there.
Why you didn't introduce yourself? Like,
oh well,
boom.
I'm just the host of the show. Don't worry about who I is. You just tell me that y'all.
I don't really be like I don't really be trying to.
I'm just
like if you,
I just play with you, dog.
No, you're right. But I mean, Deep Entropy, Last of a Writer's Creed, poet, writer, podcaster, sinner. I fuck up just like everybody else. I ain't perfect. I have my ups and downs. But like I said, I'm looking at life a lot differently than I used to, and I'm trying. This is my atonement. This channel is my atonement. Everything that I do up here is me trying to leave a legacy behind, something that's going to matter. Like I know one day I'm going to die, and what am I going to be remembered for? You know what I'm saying? So let my purpose matter for something. That's just my whole objective with this platform. So,
well, I'm sorry, Pride got to be part of your penis, homie. I'll do my best not to be too much of a bother.
It's all love, bro. You do you, man. You the salt. You the season for the entire tray, hors d'oeuvre, whatever you want to call it, man. So let's jump into it. Sid,
hell yeah.
What you got?
All right. Well, to start off, I believe
Control D, JW.
I believe in the Matrix.
My bad.
The non-theatrical movie sense, where I do believe that there is metaphorically a matrix. There is a sense that some people have and some people have not reached yet. For that would explain enlightenment, nirvana, spiritual awakenings, basically the great awakening, when you realize that you are not the only person that matters in the universe, that you are not by yourself in a sea of people. You realize that you are part of a whole. And that, I believe, is what the Matrix is supposed to represent. It's that understanding that you're part of something bigger. And so that you have to act like you are part of something bigger, rather than acting like you're an individual just taking advantage of everything and everything around you, because that stuff's not real. So that's basically what I believe about the Matrix and kind of what that represents, and in that how that relates to earthly imprisonment, because we're only really imprisoned when we believe that our bodies are our prisons. Once we realize that we are not actually imprisoned and we can live a life that is meaningful to us, we're free of that. And that's really what people have to seek through reading and experience and visiting nature, and sometimes taking drugs, sometimes like having those types of spiritual awakenings. But you have to seek it out. You can't just expect it to like hit you over the head. So yeah.
Awesome. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Am I supposed to talk now? Do we just flow? I don't do podcasts. Dude, if you haven't noticed, I spend like 30 years by myself. Like I don't do people. Like this is not my thing.
I got you, bro. Okay. All right. So it's a rotation. So it started with her, then it go to you, then it go to J-Dub. Okay. Now, if anybody has, counterclockwise.
Okay. Counterclockwise. Okay. All right. Okay. So I like what she said. We're talking about escaping the Matrix. I mean, I guess like basically to build upon her thoughts. Like these meat sacks are just like convenient ways for our souls to be around this rock for now. Like it's not that important. And the more that we realize that there's so much more to this, the more that our skin starts falling off or whatnot. And we just become the frequency that we're supposed to be to join the giant frequency that we all are in the sky. It's all, what do you think the infinity sign is? Give me a break. It's God. It's us. We're all the same thing.
Reincarnation.
But that's it. It's and so as far as that goes, for me, I think the more that you like I mean, like the way the Christians say it is like more of you and less of me. Like the more that you realize that the spirituality and the level that we're on, the frequency that we're dealing with here, all this solid crap that doesn't really exist, it doesn't exist. So the sooner we're just float away, and that's what the rapture or whatever that the Christians like to call it, all the myths that they still all coincide. We're all in this together. You know, God's going to help us all understand it if we want to, but you got to ask the questions. You got to find other people that are willing to ask it with you, and you got to have people that are going to be able to challenge your perspective to get the real perspective, because it's out there. It's out there, and more, there are more and more people out there that God is giving big voices to make a difference, to tell more and more people what the hell is going on, so that we can all get the hell out of here, because this is bullshit.
If
this
God
is garbage. All I hear about is getting out of here, or how miserable we are here. So why don't we work more on getting out of here and quit dwelling on why we're miserable here?
Mm-hmm. If God didn't want us to understand,
that's kind of how I feel. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm the one getting interrupted. Thank you, Sid. I feel like a person.
My camera has a delay, so your mouth is still, and then I'll talk, and then I'm like, and then it just like your whole line, and I was like, oh my God.
Well, that's no fun. Is that terrible?
Go ahead. Oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing.
Well, you're not on a delay. Like when you talk, it's going straight through.
I think it's my computer, because it's, I don't know, like our internet can be kind of.
Thanks, Sydney's computer.
You have wonky internet.
Look super cool up here, and you're fucking up my shit. No, I'm just playing. All right, Justin, do your thing, brother. Hey, Pat, it's good to hear your voice, man. That's exactly what I would think you would sound like. Hey, can I tell him a short story about the newsletters? Would you mind? Yeah. This is how great this guy is. When we had a problem at one point, and I have a problem with everybody. Well, I don't know how many times I've been mad at Mel for no reason. It's a problem that I have. I deal with it. The people that care about me know how to deal with it. Anyway, poor Just Pat. I got mad at him. So for, I don't know, I'm guessing around 6 months, I would send him a newsletter pretty frequently. The Why Just Wisdom is a Bitch newsletter. Oh my God. And with all new reasons of why he was such a bitch, why I couldn't fucking hack with him, and why he was never gonna hack it. And it was like, and he totally put up with it and always responded in kind. Was like, all right, well, that's how you feel, and this and that. And it was some intelligent thing or another, and it was always great. That's why I have such respect and why we've always gotten along, even when we didn't. Like he's a great cat. Like we'll always be down with this, and we're going places. We have been for a long time. But thank you for letting me share that. That's just, I think that says a lot about who I am and how great you are because of having to deal with me. So thank you. That's how God uses me. I mean, I told him to use me. He does. He uses us each as we are. Mm-hmm. So there you have it. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you letting me tell people about that.
You're welcome. Like, I think that, so it's escaping the matrix thing too, right? Like, even that is a part of the matrix. We're all at a different place, right? Like we both have like mental health issues. And so so when you recognize that in somebody else, like I don't know. And I grew up in Long Beach. Like I know like people go through stuff, but sometimes it's not really because of me per se. Like you were talking about earlier, it's because of where you're at in your walk. And say something that I did might have triggered like your trauma, would it get you to react a certain way? Well, I understand that because I react that way sometimes, you know? And so it's like, I'm able to look past like that and see like you're a person that has feelings and you've gone through something and this triggered something, you know, like a lot of times people don't really see that. And that's kind of like, I don't know. So the matrix is, so a part of the matrix is going to school, right? Mm-hmm. Like you go to school, you start when you're in or my children are 3, but because my kids are autistic, they have to get like early intervention training, right? So that way they'll be able to conform better in school. So that way they can sit there and listen to instruction as like, since we're in America, like as American, like in the American like education system as they like inject us with propaganda over each year, and every level we get, they get this like different propaganda, and all it is teaching you to conform to the system, right? And then once you conform to the system, like either you go to college or you get a job, and if you get a job, then you start paying taxes, and you do what you're told, no matter how stupid it is, or no matter how big of an idiot the person is in charge. You're supposed to do what you're told, like, and you work there for however long until you move on. Like if you go to college, or like, so if you go to college, you get your degrees, that kind
of. Oh no.
The devil didn't like what he was saying.
Hey, that wasn't me.
that was my earpods.
That was the Matrix.
It's Sydney's damn computer again.
But all that, like we get taught to conform to a certain standard. That's kind of like the programming, right? Because in the Matrix, they programs, right? But they're people, but they all had their jobs and they all had their roles in the Matrix. The thing that they woke up and then they saw the truth, like that's why I think we're here, is because we see something different. There's something outside of the Matrix, right? Like it's gotten to the point where I can't even hold down a real job for a long time. Like I just quit my job because I saw the bullshit, right? Like they don't know how to do their job, but they're put there for a reason because they don't ask questions. Like I don't know if you guys have known like a lot of people in management, but a lot of times almost it's like an epidemic. Almost everywhere you go, they're like idiots running
drones,
and that don't know how to do the job, and they're all friends, right, all the way up to the top. But it's like that because they don't ask questions, they do what they're told, and like all the I don't know, like my mind just goes like crazy. But like it's because I learned all the stuff like in the military. Like all countries are the same, right? All countries have their propaganda. All countries have a way that they make their people conform to whatever the rules are, so that way they could just do their job. Have you seen what was that movie with Ryan Reynolds where he woke up? Oh, like this, you know what I'm talking about, where he was like an NPC, and then one day he woke up and then he started going against the system. But anyways, like that's kind of how life is. Like if you don't fit into the system, then you have to figure out how to survive. But the best way to survive, like how you break out of the Matrix, is basically learning the truth of the Matrix, finding out how it operates, and then you kind of have to willfully create your own space within the Matrix. Like on the movie The Matrix, they would get injected into the Matrix, but they would follow the rules according to the Matrix or according to what they were allowed to do, right? So they would get injected with, oh, you have to do karate in order to fight the agents, but according to the way it fit within that system, right? Because we can't really escape the Matrix, because this is the Matrix. The only way we could escape is within our minds. But I was kind of thinking about this earlier, but we kind of have to be like when Bruce Lee, right? He was like, you have to be like water, where water just goes with the flow. Like the water doesn't have to go against the grain. It just goes with the flow. The way we escape the Matrix is kind of going with the flow of the Matrix, knowing what is like what the rules are, and just finding our place within there. Like if you're into music and you make music, let that be how you fit within the Matrix, and you obey the rules, but you know the truth. You know, you can't really tell people, hey guys, you're in the Matrix, because you'll look crazy. But if you're patient with people, you know, because sometimes finding out that life isn't what you really thought it was makes you crazy. And then and then you'll go off on people, right? So you have to understand that other people are going through this stuff too, and we're all trying to figure it out. And then just like have peace within yourself, so that way, I don't know, that's the most important part of escaping the Matrix, is having peace within yourself, so that way you could tolerate this. It's like if you have kids, if your kid lies to you, you don't want to like be like too harsh on them, but you know it's a lie. You like, come on, man, you know, but you don't like be like, I'm never talking to you again, or you disrespecting me because you're a liar. No, you just be like, come on, it's a lie, that's bad, you don't do that. Like you're patient with them, you know, and you have to kind of be patient with the people in charge because not everybody knows that they're in the matrix. I don't know. And then what is it? The earthly imprisonment. It's the same thing. Like we're imprisoned in these bodies, but we're also imprisoned on Earth. Like we can't survive outside of Earth. Like, so God created us from the earth. Like in the Bible, it said God created us from the earth, right? This is our environment. Most people, like, if you have melanin, that means that your body evolved to survive on the earth. Like we can't go anywhere else. Like we're literally trapped here. If we go over somewhere else, we have to have some artificial form of life support, you know? So we kind of have to, it's like being in jail. If you're incarcerated, the only way to escape sometimes is through your mind.
That's
like
it.
We can't leave. Like I really feel like Earth is a prison because the most corrupt people run Earth, just like in jail. The most corrupt people run that motherfucker, right? Like, so sorry, I'm not trying to cuss, but the only way to get out of the earthly imprisonment is through our mind. The only way to escape the matrix is in the mind, but it's not really an escape. It's an acceptance. Like, this is what's going on. I accept it. Let me find my place in here so I can have peace within myself. Does that make sense? Sorry, that was a bit long-winded.
No, you're fine. You absolutely perfectly explained that, and I
Too
just
damn good for me, bro. I can't even handle your goodness. It's fucking hurting my skin. Like you're the shit, bro. You're a great dude. I'm glad God brought you into my life a long time ago.
I want to add on to what everybody said, just my portion at least, because I kind of touched on this earlier when I was speaking about how humans we tend to look to other humans and we hold them to a certain standard. We treat them like they're gods, which are false idols, false prophets, etc., etc. And as long as they say, you know, we're gonna keep a roof over your head and we're gonna make sure you got running water and you got food and you have all of these utilities, Wi-Fi, etc. As long as you pay us a certain amount of money, we will make sure that your life is good. We will take care of you. We will make sure that you're safe and that you're covered. That's why there's a police force. That's why there's an ambulance. That's why they have all of these different structures to give you a sense of dependency, so that you rely on other humans to make sure that you're healthy, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You rely on everything to come from people, when in all reality, God is the main source for everything that we have. But because we tend to X him out of the equation, we limit ourselves with the possibilities of greatness that is in us, because we're so trained to rely on other things and other people, and because he's invisible, we don't see him. So because we don't see him, how can he make something happen out of thin air? How can a person that we've never met before a day in our life give us food, shelter? But this person, I seen him build his house. I seen him put them pipes in. I seen the windows. I seen them get on these electrical wires and fix the transformers. I've seen people do this. So you're more likely to have faith in a human being to give you love, affection, and protection than you are. I'm not saying everyone, bro.
Sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm just saying
not in a million years. Not in a fucking million years would I have faith in a person over God. Never. Not in a fucking million years. You'd have to fucking cut my head off.
I get that. Trust. I get it. But you see it every day. People will rather pray and praise people than they would actually take the time out to have a relationship with the Creator himself. And you know, and the results are broken homes, broken communities. People are confused about their their gender. I know people don't like to say that. I break the fourth wall. I said it and I stand on it.
Hey man,
people go crazy over politics, over religion. They don't want it. Why don't you want it? Why don't you want structure? Why don't you want? I don't know. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. And then when you really think about it, right? Imagine if, and I said this again too. Imagine if you were just tapped into who you are all around, and mentally, spiritually, all that. You were like the like on Independence Day when the beam came down and blew up the building. Like you just had that light on you, and you just had everything just right there. You wouldn't look at people the same. You wouldn't look at life the same. You wouldn't look at the world the same. And to what Just said about this earth being like a prison, I look, you know how you drive a car, right? The car has its functions. It's designed to get you to A, B, wherever. It has air, it has gas, it has the components to do what it's supposed to do. That's how I look at human beings. We are a vessel, and we're supposed to use this vessel for a specific reason. Absolutely. Now, that can be something completely different for you, Prod, Sid, Strav. We all have different things. He does music. Sid, she went to school for psychology. She loves the environment. There's just so many things. You went into the service, so it's like, what are we using these vessels for? We're only here for a temporary amount of time, just like a car has its expiration. It only has but so much mileage on it before it breaks down. So that's right. I just think that's something to really think about. You know what I'm saying? And I yield the mic.
Who's going? Is it going to be Sydney?
Well,
if you want, I can read a poem that's kind of related to what we were saying.
Boom.
Go ahead. We can. All right. So we can segue into that, and then we can go to Just, and then we'll go to Pride.
Okay.
So this one's called Return to Baseline. Freeing your mind involves ripping out the staples and stitches prescribed to you by the ones that you love, those who you worship, that speak to the world through a golden drink straw, the gurus and goal pushers, those bros you pay clicks to, the corporate gods working from floor 1094, the emails, the flyers, the chargers, the piles, sectioning you off for themselves, daring you to waste your time. Just one more time. Overcoming requires making up your mind and trusting your gut to teach you the rhyme that you beat to, the frequencies that you release to, the spatial seasonings that you need to see to generate small slices of unrequited heaven to be you.
Ooh. All right. I like the unrequited heaven line. That was dope, man.
So what were you thinking about? Yeah.
I wrote that to explain what it kind of feels like when you find your identity based on your root. Because it's like you can attach your identity to so many different things, like, oh, I'm this because I love that thing. Yeah. But once you start to love yourself for being yourself, that's really when you start to kind of break out of the matrix and start to realize, like, I don't actually have to spend money on all these clothes to look this way. I can just be that way. I don't have to buy all these gadgets to make me live the life I want. I can just live the life I want. Like, I don't need to give myself to all these people that don't matter just to be something that is way more important to me. Like, once you realize what's truly important to you, it's so easy to just let go of everything else.
Yes, I agree. That brings me to a great point of how I feel of the whole escaping the matrix, and something that I think is way overlooked, and something that I think is a huge trick of the devil's. Everybody, and you see it all over social media and everywhere, and then we start actually finding our frequencies, who we are, and then maybe starting to discover some of the truth. But then it goes into what I call the devil's cubicle. The 2.5 kids, the white picket fence, the husband, the family, the job, all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That is the absolute pinnacle of the devil's trick of, oh, now you're happy. And everybody, oh, I got my family, and that's all I ever need. And you see it all the time. All these middle-aged men, they fucking get to a certain age, and then they're like, you know what? I don't need anybody else. And they push all their friends away that they used to have, anybody that they ever knew. All I need is my family and my friends, and that's all that matters to me. And that's all. And then that is the total fucking, like, one of the biggest tricks of the Matrix right there, because that is so of this earth and everything that God says we are not. So fuck anybody that thinks any different. I don't really care. But no, it's all bullshit. That is the devil's cubicle. That is one of his biggest tricks he ever played on this world. And it is a huge layer of the Matrix that most people never get past.
I see that on the women's side as well, where they are 30, 40 years old coming out of these marriages. Like, what did I do? Why did I just spend 10 years of my life?
That alone tells you what's up with that shit, dude. It's bullshit. And so I see so many people push everything away, anything where God's trying to teach them more about who they are or whatever's really going on. But no, these are my kids and my family, and that's all that matters. And if you even fucking come near that, then the devil lets them know you got to get rid of that person, because they might fucking show you something about the truth about who you are and who God is to you, not who God is to what you made on this fucking plane of existence. No, I feel very strongly about that. I think it's a big fucking deal. I think so many people have it so backwards. I think it's one of the devil's biggest tricks on this planet. I think it's some Kaiser Soze shit right there, for real.
And even when you look at the marriages that do work out, those stories that everyone loves to put on the silver screen, that they love to be like, this is love right here. That was uncompromising, or that was compromising love. Like, those two people,
that's what I've always said,
and chose to stick together because they loved each other for who they were, not for like, oh, I'm with this person because he's the star of the football team and he's so handsome and we're gonna make beautiful babies and he'll be rich and we'll be able to have this nice house. So many people get married for those reasons, but fewer people have learned that, no, you have to find the person that you can look at them and see them and say, that's my best friend. That's the person that I want to connect, intertwine with, and create a life with. It's not
can't find a person. You don't have to find any people. Fuck people.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need
there is not a person on this planet that's going to complete you. That's dumbass lies. Oh, you complete me. Only thing that's ever going to complete you is the rest of you that's fucking trying to show you who you are. That's it. There is no fucking person that's going to make you better on this planet. There's a lot of us that help each other because we're all part of our frequencies, and they build as a band just like a flame does. When more flames come together and it gets bigger and bigger, and it shows you more of who you are. All God is you trying to tell you who you are so that you can experience this and then really appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
That's the motherfucking Matrix, y'all. In my personal opinion, as an angel here trying to get the fuck out of here. Like, I've wanted to die since I understood that shit. That like since I was 6 or 7 years old, and I understood like what do we do? So we go somewhere so somebody can give me some puka shells that I got to give to somebody else to live in their box, and then I got to gather as many people as I can and get them stuck in this box with me, and we're all gonna fucking figure out how to put these puka shells in there. I'm like, I can't do it. Like, I can't even understand it. Thank you, but like. It never made any sense to me. It makes me suicidal all the time. but I mean, I don't feel strongly about these things. This is just like what I'm thinking about. I very much believe in the Japanese thing. If everything you do, whatever you do it with excellence. If I can't do it, I don't do it at all. That's just not my place. I don't even give a crap about it. I find that my rooms are very compartmentalized and they're very useful, but only if they're used for things that they care about. If not, they will get very angry with me and then turn on me, and I can't have that. We haven't even talked about my ego. We're going to leave him alone for now.
J-Dub.
Thank you. Sorry, guys. Shit.
Yeah. So the Bible So the Bible says it's not good for man to be alone, right? Like in the very beginning, God created the earth, and then he created animals, and like he created the environment, and then he created Adam. And then after he created Adam, he said it's not good for man to be alone. And so then he created Eve to be a suitable helpmeet. Bible says that when you grow up, it said that a man shall leave his parents and shall cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh, right? Like we need each other. The Bible says, "Don't despise." I think like something like don't despise the gathering together of the ecclesia or whatever. Like it's not good for man to be alone. It also says that where two or three come together in my name, there I am in the midst, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a corporation, like even like, and so that's like, so spiritual is it's not good for man to be alone. Even with God, God isn't alone, right? It's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's three, right? Jesus was the Word. Like so, it's God didn't just have Jesus come and tell people. And then before Jesus was even able to start on his mission, he had to go to John the Baptist to baptize him, right?
Mhm.
In Paul, when Paul saw Jesus on the road to or the road to Damascus or whatever, and then Jesus like you're persecuting my people and stuff, and then Paul ended up having to have scales over his eyes and he was blinded, and then he sent Paul somewhere, but then he sent Peter to talk to Paul, and Peter was like, I'm not going to talk to Paul, like he's been killing us, but Jesus was like, go talk to him. There was this guy, like all this to say is like it's like we need each other. The problem is we are like this, like we look at it how the system tells us to look at it, right? So spirituality is different than religion, right? Like we shouldn't look at a pastor like he's greater than us, right? We shouldn't look at like the president like he's greater than, like we're all people. The Bible says we should esteem others better than ourselves. So we should look at one another like I lift you up as a human being, but you're not better than me, but I will treat you as if you're better than me. But we can't knock like being combined with people. Like it's even in like law, right? Like a corporation, you need multiple people to start a corporation. Like you by yourself, you are not shit to this country by yourself. That's why. So this whole year at work, like, because I have my wife and I have my children, I think I might have paid like $200 or $300 in federal taxes, but I paid over $2,000 in Social Security. Why? Because I have a family. To the law, when you have multiple people at like legally, like you're doing well, because they know that if you have a family, you're healthier, you live longer, and then you're going to conform to the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So like being able to be by yourself is cool, but you need people too. Like the Bible talks about iron sharpening iron and stuff. Like when we're alone, that's when the bad thoughts kick in. That's when we don't have anybody telling us, hey, you shouldn't do that. That's a bad idea. You know, like my wife helps me be better, right? Like I'm better. Well, it's like this, I'm better for my family, because there's like when I'm single, I can't focus on anything, right? Like I can't focus on anything other than what I shouldn't be focusing on. But when I'm married, I focus on my family and I focus on making sure they're safe and doing the right thing, and like not giving in to whatever urges or whatever. And so it helps me become a better person. Like my wife doesn't make me do that, but I do that in response to, it's kind of like it's like a symbiotic relationship between me and my wife, right? And me and my children. They help me and I help them in different ways. It's like, and you may not be incomplete while you're by yourself, but the Bible says when you get married, the two shall become one. So it's like they just add to you. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm not a whole person, because you could be single and be a whole person and do really well and then be great. But some people, like me, it's not good for man to be alone. You know, does that make sense?
I'm a fish out of water with my family. I hate it.
I'm definitely
But you know yourself. But it takes practice, right? Like, because everything that takes practice, though, and trial and error. But that's the hard part, is the trial and error when it comes to another human being, right? Because we live in a society that you have to be perfect. That's what the football, like, oh, I'm a head cheerleader, I'm gonna marry the head of the football team, or I want to marry the most wealthy person. I want to do this because that is what appears to be right. Like that fits into the matrix, and everything within the matrix is perfect. But then on the outside, you're like, but I'm not perfect. You know, like, it's funny, like the Kardashians don't even look like the Kardashians.
Mm-hmm.
But they have this look where it's like, oh, look how they look, but they don't even look like that. But they make you try to achieve that. Like, I don't even know where I was going with that. I was going somewhere. I don't know. I was going somewhere, like, but I can't remember.
All the Matrix shit, like all of it. That was like just all layers of the Matrix. Like, and so like one quick point. I'm sorry, no, it's not my turn. Like, if you were talking about this place being a prison and we're all imprisoned here, then I would say that, like, that the devil's cubicle, the family and all that stuff that everybody feels like they need and completes them, that's like the honor wing of our prison here, where everybody feel like you're okay stuck here, but you're really not. You're still fucking stuck, and you're not anywhere near where you can be as a being, not as a people.
Even with a family,
fuck these even having this whole concept of that.
Even having a family, like,
you're never going to get it, or you're never going to get out of here.
When you have a family, you're kind of willingly submitting yourself to
that. Don't do it.
Imprisonment, almost, but it's to help you get through the, because in my mind, like, I have 6 kids. In my mind, the goal of somebody is to reproduce, like, from at a most basic level, like, all of, like,
to put more
your whole lineage. No, listen. Your whole lineage from the beginning of time got you here, right? And so your purpose at the most basic level is to get offspring, so that way they could continue on the bloodline.
Why would I
make at the most basic level
here?
Huh?
That's ridiculous. Why would I purposely make something to be stuck, to be put in this position that I'm in, stuck on this fucking worthless rock? Why would I?
But some people like it.
And then you say you love that thing that you got, that you made to be stuck here.
I can speak to this kind of from both sides, because I always knew I wanted children. Growing up, I always wanted to have children, wanted to have kids. I babysat, I taught, I worked in schools. I always knew that I was going to have a family. And so to me, it did not feel right to not have a family. It didn't feel right to strive to not have one. So I never went into starting my family as like, oh, now I'm going to be trapped.
Almost like you were called to have a family, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It always felt like a calling. But I've always also had an extremely strong drive for my educational background as well. I've always been an avid student. I was always in honors classes, AP classes, taking classes on the sides just to get the extra classes that I wanted to take and subjects that I was really interested in. So I was always a hugely academically focused person. And so I was absolutely blindsided by that when I had my son, and I felt at the beginning that I almost resented him because it stole my time away from me. I was no longer able to just do whatever I wanted. I couldn't just sit and write for hours and hours. I couldn't just go on a walk when I wanted to. I couldn't just go to the store when I wanted to, especially because during that time period when I had my son, I also lost my license because of a seizure. And so I wasn't able to travel anywhere either. And so it literally felt like a prison. And for a long time, I had a lot of mental issues because it coincided with COVID. So I didn't have a license. I was stuck with my kid. I was like, I felt like I was going crazy in my mind because I wasn't able to be myself, who I am inside. And so I definitely can understand how a family can feel like a prison. But on the same token, because it's something that I've always aspired for, the bad things are easy to overlook in favor of the beautiful things that come with having the family. Like, I am somebody that I personally cannot be alone. I don't want to be alone. I don't like to be alone. I like to have somebody to have at my side to bounce thoughts off of, to kind of be a reflection for myself, to keep, as I forgot who said it, but to keep me from giving into all of these other negative tendencies that I used to have. I used to have a self-harm problem. I used to have an addiction problem, and being in a family has kept me from giving into those vices because I have something else to live for. It's not just me. And so it's easier for me to say, no, I'm not going to do that thing because this other person needs me right now. And so I think that if having a family is part of your purpose, it makes sense to you. But if other things are part of your purpose, then having children will feel like prison. And that's why I was saying earlier, like, there's two different types of marriages. There's people that are getting together because they bond, they're bonded, they went through an experience, or their personalities mesh, or something clicks, and they are just meant to be together, and it falls naturally, and they come together and they have this family, and to them it feels like it was meant to be. But then you have so many more people today that get married for wrong reasons, where they marry because, oh, it's my boyfriend from high school, or they get married because, oh, he's wealthy, so this might help me, or, oh, we're in the same job together, so let's just get married because we're already coworkers and we get along, so why not? Like, there's so many different reasons that people do get married, but are for the wrong reasons. And in that case, it is a trap because they're stuck in this relationship that does not benefit them in the way that is going to enrich their lives. So I think it really depends on what your calling is, because God understands this. That not everybody's going to be an intellectual. Not everyone's going to want to be a family member. That's why he allows us to have all these different choices. If he didn't want us to, if he wanted us all to live the same life, he wouldn't give us these options. He wouldn't have given us science. He wouldn't have given us the ability to work, the ability to have children, the ability to be single, or to be gay, or to be polyamorous, or whatever. If he didn't want us to have those things, in certain circumstances, it can become a sin if it becomes the central point of your life and makes you a damaging person to be around. But he gave us these choices for a reason.
So the Bible says God is giving gifts unto men without repentance. Like, to me, life is a gift, right? Like, I don't want to, like, I would never want to stand in somebody else's way of having the gift of life, right? So I wanted to have children, and I realized that was a gift that I gave them, but it's like a gift that I have to maintain, right? But some of us get gifts that we don't like, right? Like we've all had gifts where it's like, why the fuck did you give this shit to me? But it is still a gift, right? Like, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not a gift. And some other people may be blessed to have it. There's plenty of people that really enjoy life. And there's some people that hate life, because we've all gone through different things in our lives. But it's all a part of what keeps us trapped in the matrix. Like, that love or that hate is all in your mind, right? It's your POV. So to you, life may suck, but to somebody else, life may be the greatest thing to ever happen to them because they're just winning. But some people, they may like life, but they struggle all the time. Like, I struggle, but I love life because it's given me wisdom. Like,
no, that's not, I don't know, like, that's not in my head. That hatred is deep, deep in my black heart.
Yes, that's your subconscious, but it's from trauma. Like, that was like injected into you from years and years.
People that did that to you, not
but
God.
it's there because you won't let go of it. Right? Like, the issues that we have is we just won't let go of. That's what peace is, right? Peace is just letting go. And just it's not like happiness or sadness, it's just peace. But if you don't let go, then what? Like, then you're gonna be like, fuck this life.
Then
I can't wait till I die.
The monkey trap.
It's the monkey holding the banana. Let go of that banana and love life. I'm sorry.
Hold tight, because I let me get my bars off real quick. I wanted y'all to have y'all exchange. I was listening. I just wanted to make sure I understood where everybody was going with their thoughts. my version of earthly imprisonment. It looks like someone who is chained to their flesh. They're slaves to their flesh.
I like that.
And being a slave to your flesh doesn't necessarily mean that you are in control. It's more or less saying you have a spiritual man and you have the fleshly version of you, and the spiritual man, it wants you to follow a specific guideline designed and designated for what it is that you're supposed to be doing. I think I alluded to it earlier, but your flesh is stuck here on this earth in the things that are offered: the clothes, the money, the attention, the fame, having multiple partners, and all of that stuff. That's where it's like, all right, I'm conflicted here, because another thing I said earlier, nobody's really willing to pick up their cross. What does that really mean? What does it mean to carry your cross to the finish line? You say that you want to live for God. Well, do you know what that means? Do you really know what that means? If he told you right, if he told you right now that you had to leave your drugs alone, you had to leave these women alone, you had to leave social media alone, you had to leave your loved ones alone, you had to just walk away from all of it, would you be able to do it? Would you be willing to do that?
Damn straight in a second. If he told me to jump off a cliff, I'd do it. What are you fucking asking me some stupid shit like that?
It's not stupid. It's not stupid, because
maybe
I guarantee
it's stupid to ask me that. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'll do anything.
It's a rhetorical question, because a lot of people have chosen to live life the way that they want, and it's evident every time you turn on the TV.
That's not what you said, though. You said if God asked me to do those things. You didn't say.
Well, I wasn't specific.
If some book says you should do this, and some people say this book tells you to do this, then do this. That's not what you said, bro. You said if God asked me to do it. I didn't. Whatever God says, anytime He asked me to do it.
Well, I didn't say specific.
That is what you said.
I didn't say.
How much do you love yourself, though? Because God said, "Love yourself."
What the fuck are you talking about? We're talking about God.
Yeah, God said, "Love yourself."
Ourselves.
God said, "Love yourself as your neighbor." But God, yes,
He asked me if God asked me to do it, would I do it? And I said, "Hell yeah!" I wouldn't even think twice about it.
But that's you. That's you.
I said it was a stupid question.
Well, it's not.
There are no stupid questions, though.
It's
a question. That's how you.
There's over 7 billion people on this earth. You think everybody is thinking like you? No, they're not.
That isn't what I said. I didn't say that.
That's what I'm talking about, though. It was a hypothetical question.
Well, y'all generalize way too fucking much. I've noticed that a lot. All podcasts are like we, them. Fuck that. I'll speak on what you know about you, man.
What I know about me is
that's all I do. Am I fucking telling you what you think or what you people know? Fuck no.
It's
general. It doesn't make no sense.
It's general. You can't.
You're gonna tell me what the world thinks.
How can you tell me what the world thinks?
I'm telling you what I think. That's it.
And I understand that, but I'm not talking about you specifically. We have to remove ourselves from
generalization of everything is just ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense.
It's general because that's what we see happening.
The more you put between you and God, the less God you're going to get in your life. That's it. That's escaping the matrix. Doesn't matter what it is. Books, people, fucking bullshit conversations, anything. The more you put between you and God, the less God you will get. That is it.
And how do you know if you're putting stuff between you and God, though?
Don't ask no book what
how do you know?
Don't ask no people what to do. No some bullshit religion that's been around. Ask God.
But how do you know? How do you know? How do you know what's putting stuff between you and God?
I'm born, wisdom. Fucking ask me how I know God. I'm no God since I'm
I
God.
said, how do you know? No. But how does one know? So that's why we do generalizations, right? Because if we don't do generalizations, then it's like, oh, don't ask me this. But then if you say, but if I just ask in general, you'd be like, don't do generalizations. How do we get the answer if we can't ask?
You can ask.
Like, you may know the answer, but you may know the answer on how to get something to God. And I don't. But I can't ask you?
Not like that.
Like how, though? Like, how do you want to be asked? There are other people.
Fuck you, people. People are stupid. People are ignorant meat sacks, hairless fucking apes that don't shit about God.
But then what's the point?
God, you barely fucking understand him.
But then what's the point?
You understand what a bunch of fucking people told you about him. You're afraid to even
then what's
talk
the point?
to him.
Then what's the point?
That's what
what's
I
the point of this?
Exactly. You have to have the conversation. You have to bring this up. It has to be questions. You have to ask them. You can't just.
I am not mad at any of you. I am just
mad. I understand, bro.
Okay,
I understand.
so a lot of people don't understand that.
I'm used to you.
This is passion. This is what passion looks like.
So let me rewind it real quick, because this is where
I'm really sorry, guys. I can't regulate my emotions, and when I say things, I say them with the emotion as strongly as I feel them. I don't have control over it. I can't talk to people any other way. And if we're talking about things that I have strong emotions about, that is how I talk about them. I'm sorry. So I mean no disrespect to your show or to anybody here. I think you guys are all awesome, and God loves you all very much.
I got you, bro. Love you too, bro. Let me.
Oh, I don't love you. God loves you.
Let me reframe it. Let me reframe it this way. I love everybody. I don't have nothing against nobody. Let me frame it this way. Let's say I didn't have a relationship with God. I didn't know nothing about him. Let's say I was just stumbling around in the dark all of my life, and then I just happened to come across
people, man.
I just happened to come across a platform or a circumstance or a situation like this, right? And I hear somebody having a conversation and it caught my attention. And because I don't understand and I don't know what's happening, and I'm hearing someone talk about something that I don't have knowledge of, I'm going to be inquisitive, because you're saying something that is tugging on certain heartstrings. Is reaching me in a way that nobody else could do it, because you have the ability to communicate in a way that connects to me. Everybody can't do it, right? So there's people that are just like that, walking around wondering, stumbling, getting their information from wrong sources. People are just preying on your weaknesses. They're lying to you in your face. They're telling you one thing when it's something else, and they're getting led astray. Mm-hmm. We have a responsibility on this earth to bring people into the light. That is one of the main points of us being here. Now you can agree or disagree, but that's where I stand at. That's how I feel about it. I'm supposed to connect to somebody. I'm supposed to help somebody understand that there's more to life than what they are seeing. Mm-hmm. So to say that this conversation is fruitless or is pointless is absolutely asinine to me.
Yeah, and people that are not in touch with themselves sometimes need other people to point it out for them. And so oftentimes, if you're not exposed to religion or you aren't exposed to spirituality, you might not know how to cope with things that come at you. I think it's important to have the information available for anybody that does seek it. But at kind of speaking to why earlier he was asking why it's because everybody is going to receive different things from God. You can't across the board put like, for example, God, I believe my calling is the environment, is to reach out to people about the environment, and also for what I call an awakening. Like, I believe my interest in psychology as well is meant to help people and find their ways to happiness. But I can't come at every person expecting that they're all going to be as eco-friendly as me, or as interested in God as me, or as interested in, like, not everyone that comes to me is going to have ADHD. Not everyone that comes to me is going to have bipolar disorder, or is going to feel God in the same way. Some people feel God more in their thoughts. Some people feel it more in their bodies. Like, there's different ways to receive God, to feel God, to see to find your purpose. And so you have to be more broad, because everyone's journey is going to look a little bit different. And so you can't generalize and say everyone's journey is going to end up looking the same and everyone is going to reach the same conclusion, because everyone is different. And even God knows that.
And what is the conclusion that we would even reach, right? Like, your conclusion could be Shakespeare, and my conclusion could be freaking
Sylvia Plath.
Shel Silverstein. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever conclusion you come to, it's different. It's based off of your path in life, like your individual experience. Like, we each have our individual experience, and we're all trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, with me, I need something, right? Like I need a Bible, and I need a constitution, and I need a law that is outside of my opinion and your opinion, that I could go to for natural truths, right? Even like with science, like, there has to be something that I could go to, because when my opinion is against your opinion and they're both differing, well, then we have to find what the truth is. And it can't be like, well, it's my truth, but there is a truth. Like, 1 + 1 is 2. Like, that's what we're taught. That's the truth, right? But we have to come up with it. But if your opinion on 1 + 1 is different from my opinion on 1 + 1, then we have to figure out, well, how does that look? Maybe we're just speaking two different languages, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of people are willing to do that, and they just go off of their perspective. And their perspective is the only perspective. And then it's like, teach me your perspective then. But then they may not really understand their perspective enough to teach you, right? Like, if I learn from the Bible and I go by the Bible, then at least you have a perspective. Well, let me talk to them about the Bible. But some people say their perspective is the Bible, and they don't even understand the Bible. And then it's like, well, let's get to this so we can figure out some common perspective, you know?
Nah, you're right. And that's why, like, I think it was like a couple months ago, we did a show on understanding the context, because context will save you a lot of headache. It will de-escalate a lot of confusion and back and forth. Unfortunately, when we get in these discussions, we already go into a predetermined that our way is going to be the way. We don't make room for, well, let me hear what's happening here and reevaluate some stuff. Maybe because there's a possibility that they might have something that I don't, and vice versa. But we don't do that. A lot of shows don't do that, and it makes for a meaningless back and forth, especially when all you're trying to do is prove your side versus them trying. Like, let's say Just or Sydney, you come up here with a presentation on something that you have knowledge on. I spend the majority of the hour trying to attack it and negate everything you're saying. What was the purpose of the conversation?
So how I see things is like the purpose of my conversation is to plant a seed, right? Like, I don't expect anybody to just come along with what I'm saying right now. But what I do is I plant a seed. That's all I could hope for. And then you could walk away like that guy doesn't know shit. And then maybe throughout the next couple of weeks, there could be something that confirms what I said, or multiple things that confirms what I said. It's kind of like in the Bible when God said, or when Jesus said, some plant, others water, but God gives the increase. All I'm doing is, it says the sower sows the word. All I'm doing is planting a seed, right? And then hopefully one day that seed will sprout. And then you'll be like, you know what? You were right. You know what? Just wisdom. I get what you were saying now. It took a couple months. Like right now, it doesn't really matter. It's the future that matters. Like what we're doing is for tomorrow, not today. Like you said at the beginning, right? You said you're doing this to create a legacy, right? The legacy, like, so each, like, as you get bigger, like you're planting seed after seed after seed. Not everybody that watches the first one is going to dig it. Not every, or the second time, or the third time, but maybe there'll be something that they be like, oh my God, this resonates with me. Because maybe they saw you a couple months ago, and then each time the seed grew, like it was watered and watered. Somebody else said something, and it brings it right back to you. Like, oh, deep entropy. I remember that now. He's so fucking smart. And then they'll come back and they'll start watching your stuff. But you have to plant that seed. Without that seed, there's nothing, right? And you can't change anybody's mind if they've never even thought about it. Like the reason why people believe lies over truth is because lies is already in their vocabulary. The truth may be something foreign to them. And so you have to plant a truth, you have to plant a truth seed in them, and then it has to grow over time. Otherwise, it'll always be foreign to them. But that lie may have what they were told their whole life. And so it's like, I don't believe you. Because that lie had time to grow and spread branches. They've gotten comfortable underneath its covering, you know? So.
And those seeds can be dormant for years and years. Like I've had moments where something in my present life ended up connecting to something way back from like my childhood or something, like where a bunch of things will all connect all at the same time. Like when you plug in a string of lights where everything all connects all at the same time. And so sometimes you don't even know that those seeds are being planted. And that's why I always think it's so good to expose yourself to as much education as possible, whether it's spiritual or like typical academic education, because it does all eventually connect back together. Whenever I go through the Bible, I can often find similarities to how God describes creation, describes people, to actual scientific principles that are in physics and chemistry and psychology. And I've always believed that really because God created everything, like science is how we understand God as well as the Bible or like written word.
I agree.
This like entire exchange, it just further cements it, the fact that we do in fact live in this bubble. A lot of people, including myself, I've been in that place where what I knew was what I knew, and you couldn't tell me nothing else. And I built my own world and my own infrastructure. I created my own statutes. I bent the laws, and I adjusted the doctrine to suit my sins and to suit my own theories, so that I could feel comfortable doing things the way that I wanted to do them and not the way that he wanted me to do them. I already know. I already understand that process. I understand the after effects that come with it, the backlash, what it does to you, what it does to the people around you. And so when you decide to have these type of conversations, and I mean like you unearth things and you start hitting heartstrings and start touching certain little areas, is always going to trigger somebody. I don't care.
But that trigger could bring forth growth.
Exactly. I think you can't. I always say you can't love somebody if you lie to them. I don't think that you can say that you love a person and sit there and allow them to continue to walk a certain way that is going to get them harmed or hurt. I would rather just you never be in my presence ever than for you to just tell me one thing when you really mean something else. A lot of people would rather be lied to than to hear the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. You weren't supposed to be popular. You're not always going to be liked. And maybe you might build some type of situation where people are looking at you like you're the opposition when you're really not. But like he said just a few seconds ago, you're planting seeds, and those seeds will eventually grow just like any other seed. You bear fruit from doing something positive or negative. And it depends on where you decide to be on which side. I just choose to be a little more aware and a little more self-conscious about what I consume. I think that's my ultimate message.
Even God never really preached ultimate restriction. He always preached moderation.
Yeah.
Like he understands our tools.
Right. Real quick, I want to read off Strav's comments, and if y'all have anything that y'all want to add on before we close out, you can do so. He said, "Be fruitful and multiply," but also this brings to mind the whole thing about if God exists, why does bad things happen to us here? But first, because of the fall, we were never promised that our human experience would be sunshine and rainbows. We were told we would experience adversity and persecution. The promise was the everlasting life that comes after. Faith comes in. Faith comes by hearing. Sadly, believers will be the only or the initial Bible the average person will ever read. Our responsibilities, one of them is spread the gospel and serve one another. And as JW pointed out earlier, to sharpen iron, to build up one another, but people can't know what they aren't introduced to. That's a fact. All fact. I have one question, and we can close out from here. One question. And I'm genuinely curious to know what people think about this. Why do we have this me versus the world mentality? Why is it that we would rather? It's like you only want to help people that make you smile. You only want to help people that bring you joy. But when it comes to wanting to help your enemy or help someone who did you wrong, now you select. Now you don't have the same. How can you say that you're operating from a specific place when you only do it for specific people?
It's tough to be humble. It's tough to admit that some people might make you uncomfortable. Some people might, like, very, very, very few people are able to handle themselves appropriately in front of somebody that vehemently disagrees with you. If you are like, if you ever want to test anyone's character, challenge what they say. because they will show you their true colors as soon as you start attacking what they say, if you come at them for what they believe in. And I think a lot of people have a hard time setting aside the discomfort of knowing that somebody thinks differently than you and there's nothing you can do about it, because you can't look at somebody and say, believe this, and then have them accept it readily. People are going to keep their opinions, and a lot of people do not like that they cannot control what you think.
So what was the question again? What
The question was, how is it that you can be selective with when you're spiritual and when you're you're supporting or you want to be uplifting with people? Like you can do it for someone who brings you some type of pleasure or some type of joy, but you can't do it for those that spite you, that pray against you, that want to see you fail. You can't do it for them, but you can do it for the other side of it, where it's all fun and, like he said, rainbows and things of that nature.
I think people, it's what feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels good to do good things for people that fuck with you. And it sucks doing things for people that you know have an issue with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and so like I'm 45, right? Like you're 40, you're on a different path. Like you're at a different level where you're starting to see the truth of people, and maybe like your circle is getting smaller or whatever, right? Like I'm at a point where it's like, I don't actually know who likes me and who doesn't like me, right? Because there's so many people that say that they like you, but they really hate on you, but they smile in your face. And then there's people that maybe seem like they're assholes to you, but they really respect you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just kind of maybe blunt or whatever. So then I just get to the point where if I'm going to do something for somebody, I'm going to do something for somebody. It doesn't matter whether I feel like they like me or whether I feel like they don't like me. Because that's still a point of view. Like, how do you know somebody can't stand you, right? How do you know people are out to get you? Like, they may have just told you, that your slip was showing, you know? Like, you may not want to smoke around here. And they'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe he's telling me I can't smoke. Like, you ain't my boss. But then, like, 10 minutes later, like, management could come around and be like, you're not supposed to be smoking here. You know, and you might be like, oh, he told on you, but he was really warning you, this isn't a spot to smoke. But we're at the point where we think if anybody tells us anything that's contrary to what we're doing, they're against us. So then but that may not be what it is. And people that are smiling in our face are for us. Like the Bible said, the devil was more subtle or the serpent was more subtle than any other beast. The serpent slid up on Eve like, did God indeed tell you you can't eat from this tree? Like he was jealous of you, you know, like. But those are the people where they'll be like, hey, I'm going to do nice things for this person because they got my back. Like, the older you get, you start realizing that not everybody that you think has your back really has your back. So then to kind of answer your question, like I've just gotten to the point where if I'm going to do something for somebody, I'm going to do it for them regardless of how I feel they feel about me. Because maybe they just need it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like say if I was a millionaire, right? And maybe like me and Prince Prodigal have this huge falling out again and we hate each other and whatever, and then years go down and then I'm like a Billboard charting person, and he's a Billboard charting something, and he just needs something from me and it will help his career. Like regardless of whatever our past is, it's like, well, if he needs it, I'm gonna do it for him. Like he may not really have ever disliked me, but maybe we just had like his trauma doesn't mesh well with my trauma. And so we're like gasoline when we come into contact with each other, gasoline and like an ignition source. Well, if we know that, then it's just like, I just can't maybe always hang out with this dude, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't do something nice for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think everything is like, whether enemies or whatever, it's just based off of our perception. And if somebody has like thinks of us a certain way, it's because of their perception. But their perception could be based off of their programming in the part of the matrix that they come from. Like I was an intelligence analyst for 17 years. Like we went to war, and there was shit that I had to do. But it's like the more you do stuff, and you travel to different countries, you're like, these people really aren't our enemies. They're just people. Like Koreans are just people, and Germans are just people, and Chinese people are just people. Like we're all just people. But then we hate each other because our government programs us to hate each other. Like our government programs us to hate Trump. Our government programs us to hate Kamala, and then MAGA, and then liberals, and then conservatives, and all these people. Then we hate each other because of what we're told by propaganda. So then you just got to get past that and be like, oh shit, they're just people. Mm-hmm. So sometimes people hate me, sometimes people don't hate me, but sometimes people need help. And regardless of how I feel about how they feel, I just need to help them. I don't know. Like I rambled on, sorry, but at the end of the day, it's just doing what's right for people, regardless, because they're people.
Mm-hmm. As I always say to people, or my family and stuff like that, in general, I don't care if you read my books. I just hope you hear my words, and that's how I feel about my poetry. I'm not here to profit off you and hope that I get your money from you. I just hope that the words that you take from me change you in some way that makes you better.
Spot on. Both of y'all, spot on. I couldn't have said that any better, bro. I feel the same way. And I mean, like, when you hit that age, you just understand why you have to move like that, why you have to be like that. You know, nobody can beat Jesus. Nobody. But Jesus
flipped the table because he was pissed off about what somebody was saying. So even he's had his moments.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what I'm really getting at is you're not going to beat him, but the whole point is to try to be like him as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And that's not popular. It's just not popular. Mm-hmm. Turning the other cheek and still being a decent person when everyone else is saying off with their head and this, that, and the third, and war and all that. That's not popular. People want you to do what they would instinctively do through their flesh. I don't feel that way. I could never do that to anyone. I don't care what happens or anything. You could be practicing voodoo on me and all this other weird stuff. I will never be that person to go back and forth over nothing like that, because I said it earlier, it's not my burden. That's not my thing to carry. But I digress. Great show. Shout out to you, bro, and Miss Sydney. Shout out to Prodigal, man. You expect these type of conversations to happen at some point. You're just not. It's not just going to always be super
roses and flowers.
Right. You know. But I always say, like, even if you agree to disagree, you can still talk and still get the message. Because there's still people watching. There's still people that's tuning in. They want to see how you handle it. They want to know if this is the right way to approach it out in the real world. They want to know if you're going to bend or fold, or if you're going to just, there's just certain things that you have to be prepared for, even when you're not prepared for. I thank God for the alignment here, for having everyone here for this. I'm grateful for this experience, for the engagement. I thank you for still hanging in here with us and giving your feedback and sharing your wisdom, bro. I'm not too
Yeah, thank
big.
you for having me. I appreciate it.
I enjoyed what you had to say. It was very, very interesting, and I think we have a lot in common. It seems with our belief systems.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even if it was off, it wouldn't have made a difference. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can still say I respect your views and your opinions. This is not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it was
absolutely
regardless.
But I know it's getting late. J-Dub, man, you more than welcome to pull up anytime you want. Sydney, you already know the vibe, man.
Mm-hmm.
Blessings to you. Well, blessings to both of y'all families. To everybody that's watching, I appreciate y'all for coming out, sitting with us. Thank you again for another Saturday. Tomorrow morning, we are back at the King's table. So tap in if you around. I know we got to get ready for work and stuff like that Monday. But I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right, man. You too.
Thanks for having
us. All right. Good night, both of y'all.
Night.